Looking for the most reliable motorcycles of 2025? Smart move, because some of these failure rates will blow your mind. We're looking at everything from 11% failure rates to over 30%. Some of these numbers will make you rethink that dream bike sitting in the showroom. We'll dig into which brands actually deliver on their promises. If you're enjoying our videos, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into more honest takes on motorcycle buying. Coming in at the top of our rankings, the Yamaha MT-07. When 11% failure rate is your worst problem, you're doing something right. This 689 cubic centimeter CP2 twin costs $8,599 and starts every single time you press the button. Revolutionary concept, apparently. The MT-07's secret weapon is its deliberately simple design philosophy. While other manufacturers chase complex electronics and flashy features, Yamaha stuck to proven fundamentals. The 2025 model adds traction control, but they've managed to keep the complexity minimal, a crucial factor in long-term reliability. At $8,599, you're getting Japanese engineering that consistently ranks at the top of reliability surveys. The CP2 engine architecture has been refined through multiple generations. Reliability without sacrificing performance. The MT-07 delivers engaging street performance while maintaining the kind of dependability that keeps riders coming back to the brand. If you want a bike that starts more reliably than your morning coffee maker, Yamaha's got you covered. Second on our list sits Honda's Africa Twin. With its 12% failure rate, which is basically the automotive equivalent of a Swiss watch that runs on gasoline, this 1,083 cubic centimeter parallel twin costs $14,799 and comes with Honda's unofficial guarantee that it will outlive your interest in adventure riding. 150,000-mile potential isn't marketing speak when Honda says it. These are documented numbers from owners who treat maintenance schedules as suggestions rather than requirements. The 2025 updates improve electronics and suspension, though honestly, the previous generation was already reliable enough to use as a calendar. The parallel twin configuration provides the perfect balance of power and simplicity for adventure riding. While your buddies are posting Instagram stories from the breakdown lane, Africa Twin riders are busy racking up miles and wondering what all the fuss is about. Third up is Suzuki's V-Strom 650. Matching Honda's 12% failure rate while delivering adventure bike capability at $9,299, this 645 cubic centimeter V-twin represents Suzuki's no-nonsense approach to reliable motorcycling. The V-Strom's reputation as a low-maintenance adventure bike didn't happen by accident. Suzuki engineered this V-twin configuration for consistency rather than peak performance, resulting in an engine that thrives on neglect while delivering steady, predictable power. The 2025 model brings efficiency improvements that Suzuki claims will extend service intervals even further. What's particularly noteworthy is how this 12% failure rate aligns perfectly with historical reliability data. Unlike some manufacturers showing dramatic swings in quality, Suzuki has maintained consistent engineering standards across model years. Some industry observers suggest this consistency stems from Suzuki's smaller market share, forcing them to focus on reliability over rapid model refreshes. The V-Strom 650 occupies a sweet spot in adventure touring, capable enough for serious off-road work, but simple enough that roadside repairs remain feasible. At under $10,000, it delivers Honda-level reliability without the premium price tag. For riders who'd rather spend weekends exploring backroads instead of explaining to their spouse why the bike is in the shop again, the V-Strom got you covered. Fourth on our list is the Kawasaki Ninja 500. The best motorcycle deal nobody talks about. Kawasaki's Ninja 500 costs less than most people's vacation but delivers a 15% failure rate that embarrasses bikes costing triple the price. This 451 cubic centimeter parallel twin has become the unofficial starter bike for riders who actually want to keep riding. Here's the dirty secret about entry-level sport bikes. Most manufacturers phone it in, figuring beginners don't know better. Kawasaki didn't get that memo. they applied the same engineering standards to this $5,899 machine that they use on their flagship models. New riders buying Ninja 500s often keep them longer than planned, not because they can't afford to upgrade, but because the bikes simply refuse to give them a reason to. The 2025 updates focus on long-term durability rather than flashy features. Smart move. Beginning riders need bikes that work, not bikes that impress at bike nights. The Ninja 500 has quietly built a reputation as the bike that gets people through their learning phase and then sticks around as the reliable backup that somehow becomes the primary ride again. Fifth is the Harley-Davidson Street Glide. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, it costs $27,749. And yes, it still has a 26% failure rate. But here's what changed. Harley finally figured out that reliability and character aren't mutually exclusive. The Milwaukee 8-117 represents Harley's engineering maturity. This isn't your grandfather's Harley that leaked oil as a feature, not a bug. The 114 cubic inch V-twin delivers 107 horsepower and 111 foot-pounds of torque through a 6-speed transmission that's built for highway cruising. Street Glide owners regularly report 100,000-mile odometers, and the 2025 vibration reduction systems address the component wear that used to define Harley ownership. The touring focus means every system is built for long-distance durability. The Batwing fairing cuts wind effectively, while the hard saddlebags provide serious storage capacity for extended trips. Electronic cruise control, infotainment system, and premium audio create a touring platform that competes with luxury cars for highway comfort. The suspension handles two-up riding with luggage, without the harsh ride that plagued earlier Harley touring bikes. Harley ownership has always been about the experience, not the efficiency. The Street Glide delivers that experience with reliability improvements that would shock riders from previous decades. You're still paying premium prices, but you're getting a motorcycle that actually takes you places instead of teaching you patience in your driveway. The culture remains the same. The execution finally caught up to the price tag. Sixth position goes to Indian's Scout. $12,999 for American motorcycle heritage without the traditional American motorcycle headaches. The Scout's 25% failure rate puts it in respectable company, while that 1,130 cubic centimeter V-twin delivers authentic cruiser character. Indian learned from watching other American manufacturers struggle with the reliability reputation. The Scout represents their commitment to building bikes that work first, then worry about everything else. The 2025 platform improvements show Indians serious about long-term durability, addressing weak points before they become customer complaints. The Scout fills a gap in the American cruiser market, genuine V-twin performance at a price that doesn't require financing discussions with your spouse, or maybe not, but at just under $13,000, it delivers the cruiser experience without the premium markup or the reliability anxiety that traditionally came with American Iron. Scout owners get to enjoy that classic V-twin rumble without the classic V-twin repair bills that make grown men weep. Seventh, BMW R1300 GS. Here's the thing about BMW motorcycles. They're like that overachieving friend who looks perfect on paper but somehow always has drama going on. The R1300 GS posts a 25 to 30% failure rate, which for BMW actually counts as a victory lap. At $18,895, you're getting 1,300 cubic centimeters of horizontally opposed boxer engine that's been the backbone of BMW adventure riding for decades. The 2025 model finally addresses some long-standing issues with a lighter engine design that should reduce the kind of component wear that made BMW service departments very profitable businesses. What's genuinely impressive here is the improvement trajectory. Earlier data showed BMW hitting 40% failure rates, making this current performance look downright reliable by comparison. The boxer configuration delivers the low center of gravity that adventure riders love, plus that distinctive mechanical symphony that sounds like no other motorcycle on the planet. BMW riders develop a special relationship with uncertainty. You're buying German engineering excellence wrapped in electronics that occasionally interpret adventure riding a bit too literally. The R1300 GS will take you anywhere in the world, though it might pick some interesting moments to remind you that German precision and electrical systems don't always play nicely together. 8. Triumph Tiger 900. 29% failure rate at $15,195. 888 cubic centimeters of British triple-cylinder character. The Triumph Tiger 900 represents everything that's right and occasionally wrong with modern British motorcycle engineering. That triple engine is the Tiger's defining feature. 3 cylinders firing in sequence create a power delivery unlike anything else in adventure touring. It's smooth enough for highway cruising, but distinctive enough that you'll never mistake the sound for anything Japanese or German. The 2025 electronics updates supposedly address Triumph's historical relationship with oil, which previous generations of Tiger owners knew intimately. Triumph has come incredibly far from the days when British motorcycles were basically mechanical poetry that occasionally ran. The Tiger 900 shows that modern British engineering can build reliable adventure machines, though they still retain enough character to keep things interesting. Some riders miss the authentic British experience of roadside troubleshooting, but most prefer adventures that don't involve creative mechanical solutions. The Tiger 900 attracts riders who want something different from the usual adventure bike suspects. You're not buying the most reliable option, but you're getting a motorcycle with genuine personality that will handle serious off-road work. Plus, at 15 grand, you can afford the occasional unscheduled maintenance adventure. 9th on our list, Ducati Multistrada V2. 33% failure rate sounds terrible until you realize this is Ducati's most reliable motorcycle. That's not damning with faint praise. That's genuine progress for a brand that historically treated reliability as optional equipment. The Multistrada V2 costs $15,995 and delivers 937 cubic centimeters of testosterone L twin passion. Ducati spent years perfecting this engine configuration, and the 2025 heat management improvements address the kind of thermal challenges that made earlier Ducatis exciting in ways owners didn't always appreciate. Italian motorcycles have always prioritized emotion over predictability, but Ducati has been steadily improving the reliability equation without sacrificing the character that makes these bikes special. The Multistrada V2 proves you can have Italian soul with improved everyday usability, though it will still occasionally remind you that perfection is less interesting than personality. This isn't the bike for riders who want appliance-level reliability. But for those who understand that the best motorcycles have character, including the kind of character that creates memorable stories, the Multistrada V2 delivers an experience no Japanese manufacturer would ever attempt. Sometimes the most interesting choice isn't the safest choice. Entry 10, KTM 390 Duke. KTM built their reputation on racing, but the 390 Duke proves they can also build bikes that don't require a support crew. This 399 cubic centimeter single posts a 25% failure rate at $5,899. Not bad for Austrian engineering that usually prioritizes performance over everything else. The 390 Duke represents KTM's attempt to make motorcycles for normal humans who don't have factory mechanics on speed dial. That single-cylinder engine delivers enough excitement to keep experienced riders interested, while staying simple enough that weekend warriors can actually maintain it. The 2025 street-focused updates boost reliability by removing some of the race-bred complexity that made earlier KTM street bikes feel like thinly disguised track machines. What's impressive is how KTM managed to keep their signature aggressive character while building something that actually starts consistently. The 390 Duke attracts riders who want that distinctive KTM edge without signing up for the full Austrian ownership experience. It's proof that you can have European motorcycle passion at a price that won't require you to explain the purchase decision to anyone who matters in your life. At number 11, Royal Enfield's Classic 350. $4,999. 68 problems per 100 bikes, according to J.D. Power's 2025 India study, which somehow makes it the top-ranked motorcycle for initial quality. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 proves that sometimes simple really is better. This 349 cubic centimeter single represents everything Royal Enfield does, right? Vintage styling, straightforward engineering, and pricing that doesn't require a loan officer's approval. The 2025 build quality improvements address the fit and finish issues that gave older Royal Enfields their character, though not everyone considers that an improvement. Royal Enfield motorcycles occupy a unique space in the market. They're not trying to be the fastest, the most advanced, or the most reliable. They're trying to be motorcycles in the purest sense, simple machines that connect riders to the road without electronic interference. The Classic 350 delivers that experience at a price point that makes motorcycle ownership accessible to people who thought they couldn't afford it. The Classic 350 won't impress anyone with its performance specifications, but it will surprise people with how much actual riding satisfaction you can get from such a basic machine. Sometimes the best motorcycle is the one you can actually afford to buy, insure, and maintain. Entry 12. Moto Guzzi V85 TT. Italian engineering with a 25% failure rate and $12,690 asking price. That 853 cubic centimeter transverse V-twin is pure Moto Guzzi DNA, the engine layout that's defined the brand for decades and somehow keeps working despite looking like it was designed by someone who never heard of conventional wisdom. The 2025 model focuses on low-maintenance adventure capability, recognizing that most riders want to explore roads, not the inside of their garage. Moto Guzzi has always been the quirky Italian brand that marched to its own drumbeat. The V85 TT maintains that tradition while actually being reliable enough for serious adventure touring. The transverse V-twin creates a riding experience unlike anything else. Shaft drive smoothness with character that makes every ride memorable. The V85 TT attracts riders who want Italian motorcycle soul without the traditional Italian motorcycle drama. It's reliable enough to trust on long trips, but interesting enough that you'll never confuse it for appliance transportation. At $12,690, it's the Italian motorcycle for people who actually want to ride Italian motorcycles instead of just working on them. 13th on our rankings, the Aprilia Tuareg 660. Nobody expected this to work. Aprilia makes bikes that win races and terrorize insurance companies, not bikes that haul camping gear across continents. Yet here we are with a 659 cubic centimeter parallel twin that posts 25% failure rates and costs $12,499. The engineering brief must have been interesting. Build an adventure bike, but make it Italian. The result is a machine that handles like an Aprilia, but works like an actual adventure bike. The parallel twin configuration keeps maintenance straightforward while delivering power that reminds you this isn't just another boring adventure machine. 2025 updates focus on durability because apparently someone at Aprilia realized that adventure riders need bikes that survive longer than a race weekend. The Tuareg 660 faces skeptical buyers who remember when Italian adventure bikes meant beautiful disasters. Aprilia addressed those concerns by building robust components specifically for off-road punishment. 14th position goes to CF Moto's 800 MT Touring. Remember when made in China meant cheap knockoffs? This 799 cubic centimeter parallel twin, posting 20 to 25% failure rates at $10,299, suggests those days are over. KTM engine technology meets Chinese manufacturing efficiency. The combination works better than anyone expected. CF Moto spent years learning how to build motorcycles instead of just assembling them, and the 800 MT proves they graduated. The engine shares DNA with KTM's proven power plants, while benefiting from manufacturing processes that prioritize consistency. The 800 MT Touring delivers legitimate adventure bike capability at pricing that undercuts European competitors by significant margins. Recent reliability improvements show CF Moto understands that building a global reputation requires building bikes that actually work everywhere, not just in controlled environments. Your prejudices about Chinese motorcycles are about to get expensive if you keep ignoring options like this. The 800 MT represents new generation Chinese manufacturing that competes on engineering merit rather than just price point. CF Moto has invested heavily in creating motorcycles that stand on their own merit. Last on our list, the Buell Super Cruiser. This costs $25,900 and makes absolutely no sense until you ride one. Eric Buell never figured out how to build normal motorcycles. which is why this 1,190 cubic centimeter V-twin, posting 25% failure rates, feels like nothing else on the road. This isn't a cruiser in any traditional sense. It's Eric Buell's interpretation of what American motorcycles could be if they weren't obsessed with copying what worked in 1950. The supercruiser incorporates decades of unconventional engineering wisdom from Buell's racing and street bike development. The V-twin engine delivers power through Buell's signature engineering approaches, mass centralization, innovative frame design, and suspension geometry that prioritizes actual performance over traditional cruiser aesthetics. The 2025 model benefits from years of development focused on reliability improvements while maintaining distinctive Buell character. The supercruiser divides people into two groups: those who get it immediately and those who will never understand why anyone would want it. There's no middle ground with Buell motorcycles. Never has been, never will be. At 26 grand, you're buying Eric Buell's unconventional vision of American engineering. Here's what I want you to understand. These failure rates span from 11% to over 30%. It means your choice of brand literally determines whether you're riding or waiting for parts. Some of these numbers will surprise you. Others will confirm what you already suspected about certain manufacturers. The smartest bike buyers use this data to make decisions, while everyone else learns expensive lessons the hard way. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more motorcycle content that actually helps you make better choices instead of just looking pretty in your garage.